LA stole one in game 2. Game 3 is underway. What are the early signs to you that Jarnell Stokes has figured out this zone D? Maybe there's one right there.
Cue it up, cue up the tape, but that's what he did. And a good job working for position. He got to the block, cut inside, and that's what he's got to do. Continue to move, use his strength, but get deep in the post and in the lane where he can operate best.
Ryan Gomes had a slow start, 16 of his 18 in the second half, including 5 down the stretch, but it was the facilitation of Josh Midget that got things going for LA.
But again, we come back to this end of the floor, and all eyes will be on Jarnell Stokes and how he can immediately make an impact in this game. He'll still look to facilitate, but he's got to look to score as well.
Nearly a triple team came to Stokes as it's rotated to Jabril Trawick. And that's it with LA. This is the job he wanted, and now he's got his squad on the brink of a championship. Stokes to Paolo. Good block by Gomes underneath, but it stays with the Skyforce.
Excellent possession for Dew, sending an extra player in Vanderblue at Stokes. He finds Paolo under the basket, but again, the defense still quick enough to collapse and recover.
Magruder catch and shoot. Battle for the rebound. It comes to Stokes, who follows up his own miss.
And that's something we didn't see a lot out of the Skyforce, where they normally dominate the offensive glass. It was the Los Angeles team, the Skyforce, getting second chance looks early on. Will be a big difference maker.
Vanderblue nearly threw it away. Under 10 on the timer. The Jet had 16 points and 10 assists, a double-double in game 2. Justin Harper had back-to-back 21-point performances, misses his first look. Skyforce off to the races.
Beautiful break. The open court is where the Skyforce is just very efficient in their execution. See how hard they can run it in. Los Angeles, they want to play an up-tempo game, but again, how does that affect the minutes that these starters already put in with the shortened bench and the shortened rotation that Casey Owens has to deal with?
Transition game here for the Skyforce. Stokes, the trailer, puts it on the deck and gets to the rim for 2.
Good things always happen when you're in the middle of the floor, especially for a player like Stokes. We didn't see him make plays like that yesterday. He wasn't as aggressive. He was looking to pass off. I like the way that he's got his mindset on getting to the hoop early on.
First 2 games, it was LA that got off to a great start. Here in the decisive game 3, it's Sioux Falls up 8-0 with Jarnell Stokes having 6 points. Magruder got fouled.
And he's been spectacular in what he's been able to do. Known for his defensive ability, but offensively. He's a 3-and-D guy, can hit a 3-pointer, but now he's been in more of attack mode, averaging just about 6 more free throw attempts per game during these playoffs.
Second-year pro out of Kansas State. Ryan Gomes can't hit off glass. Sioux Falls in the form of DeAndre Liggins running. Back of the iron on a 3. Sioux Falls with the decided rebounding advantage in this series. Midget, though, with the steal, led the league in that category during the regular season. Josh Midget, watched by Rodney Magruder. Jet back to Magruder as the tone has been set here early in game 3.
Not a lot of love between these two teams, no surprise.
Vanderblue fades away. Justin Harper inside. 9 in a must-win game 2.
And they really haven't figured out a way to stop Vanderblue. We saw Magruder start out on Vander in game 1 and game 2. Now they're trying Liggins to see what he can do to slow him down.
Ryan Gomes over Jarnell Stokes.
And it goes without saying, at this point in the ball game, given the depth of the Skyforce, you got to make sure that you cut into this lead and don't let Sioux Falls gain confidence and get a comfortable lead to be able to use their bench to their advantage.
Casey Owens does not call an early timeout. Allows his team to try to dig out of that 10-0 hole on their own. Harper in the corner, drains it.
That's what Harper does, and he has been very consistent in these finals. 21.7 rebounds in each of game 1 and game 2. But Jarnell Stokes spoke with us yesterday, and he said, I got to work on my contests. I got to make sure to get out quicker, hands high, and don't give these stretch bigs the type of looks that they've been getting.
That's his bread and butter, just backing down Harper to score once again in the painted area.
And when Stokes is so deep, it's hard to throw those traps and throws those extra bodies on him, and he's had his way early on.
We see the finished product, but how important is the location of the catch for Stokes?
Huge, huge. I mean, it's everything.
Stokes, baseline drive, spins and scores.
I tell you what, he's showing off not just ability to be dominant inside, but they're just putting the ball on the floor, reading his defense. He said he's got strength, but also he likes to think that he's a finesse big as well. So a little bit of that with a foot speed.
Reset here for Vanderblue. Mismatch against Jarnell Stokes. He'll take Stokes to the rim, but missed the layup. Collapsing D by Sioux Falls leads to the transition opportunity. Magruder to Liggins. Now it's Paolo on the crossover, gets underneath. Offensive rebounds, an elite offensive rebounding guard is the way that Casey Owens, the LA head coach, describes Rodney Magruder. Good hands by Vanderblue, shields off Trawick. Gets it back and puts it in.
Good finish to a botched up play by there with Vanderblue, but a nice job with his quick active hands to get that going. And a much needed point for this Los Angeles team.
Liggins, no good from 3. Good box out of Stokes by Harper for the rebounds. Gomes to Andre Ingram. In and out from 3. Ingram coming off of a 20-point performance in game 2, just 7 in game 1. He was an X factor for the defenders in that game 2 victory.
Yeah, and unexpected after he was quiet in game 1, struggled from the perimeter. And they're gonna need him though to knock down some of those open looks outside.
The Jet with the steal, pushing the other way. He has 7 of the 14 field goal attempts for the Skyforce here early on.
Stokes sending an early message. Also 6 offensive rebounds for the Skyforce.
The Jet gets taken down. The game notes. I thought only the media reads that.
Put a suit on him, you'd think he was calling the game.
I think we got to be careful.
Yeah, that is the case with a handful of these players.
Looked way too relaxed for a game 3. Winnington strokes a 3.
Carry over from what we saw last night. Stepping up, knocking down open shots. Speaking of X factors, he's the guy in the Skyforce team that brings that off the bench. How much attention defensively my teammates are going to be open, and with a team like Sioux Falls, he's got guys that can knock down those open shots.
Into Stokes, there comes Blue again. Ball movement to Magruder. Rebounded there by Michael Holyfield, came off the bench in game 2 with 8 big rebounds. LA needs some type of production from their bench. The Jet driving against Stokes, just throws one up and gets the roll.
A little English on that one, but what a finish by Majet. And I like the aggressiveness, taking it to the basket when there was no real other options on that play.
Paolo drives to the rim, draws the attention, and Stokes on the weak side sticks it back. Transition here for Sioux Falls, but it's stopped by Majet. Stepping into a 3. Long rebound to Magruder. The lead is 8 for Sioux Falls. Their biggest advantage in that game 2 loss was just 6. Late whistle. Heat State, the parent club of the Skyforce, in attendance to watch Sioux Falls and Los Angeles battle in Game 3. Jarnell Stokes missing the first of 2 and already making a much bigger impact as expected with what is now 13 first quarter points.
Well, and he's playing like an MVP here tonight, and we talked about the way the defenders mixed up the looks in the defensive just energy they brought towards him in Game 2, but Stokes is doing the same thing at them offensively, mixing up the looks, the way that he's attacking the basket, and how he's moving and creating buckets for himself and also for his teammates.
Vanderblue is getting the mismatch against Stokes, just can't take advantage. Kick out Whittington, and Michael Holy.
What's changed? So I don't think anything has changed at all. I don't think there's a difference, and that's the type of attitude and mindset because he plays within the context of the offense.
It'll stay.
Can do what Magruder can do. Benson inside.
Ingram after his own miss. And the 6'4" Ingram sticks it back with one hand.
Let's go Force! Let's go Force!
Magruder is open. Missing from 3.
Communication on that LA zone. They're really clogging up the paint. They're staying inside. And at this point, you gotta think that they're just forcing the Skyforce to take those outside looks, hope they'll miss like we saw Magruder do just there.
Vanderblue just shoved on the baseline. 2 points, the lowest total Sioux Falls has scored these playoffs.
And it did it. It threw them off. It namely in taking the ball out of Stokes' hands in position at the block to score. But it's different looks. It's mixing things up.
Justin Harper, no good from 3. On the reload, it's Hawkins. A third opportunity for Vanderblue. That got left short.
And you can't say it about every miss, but you got to start to wonder. Vanderblue, Josh Majette both played 48 minutes last night. Does that affect their legs as we see Whittington hit that corner 3, a factor from the 3-point arc.
6-point swing.
After the release.
You're a shooter, you want that call.
You want any call. That's what you do. You're holding your hand, your wrist, you're looking at the ref. I don't think they're going to buy that though.
Another offensive rebound for LA. Majette, bounce pass, Harper for the lane.
Draw the defense, create, dish off to your open teammate. That was such a simple, fundamental play, but it's what Josh Majette can do that makes him so good as a distributor. And of course, Justin Harper, a guy, they have such great chemistry feeding off of his teammate.
Stokes finds the cutting Magruder. LA hit 13 threes in Game 2, up from 10 in Game 1. That was a big reason why the performance, where LeBron would just not come off the floor as motivation for Vander. Off the block, numbers for the defenders. Harper driving against Stokes and lays it in.
I like to see that Harper getting involved, what he can do, get to the basket, and Vanderblue try and get going. He led the league in free throw attempts, maybe seeing a couple of those go in, adding points on the board. Anytime you're a scorer, you see the ball go through the hoop, it adds to your feel, your flow, your rhythm of a ball game.
Nearly midway through the second quarter, Torrey Murray falling back, missing the shot. Blue wants to run without numbers. Ingram from the elbow, in and out.
You got a lot of refs in the stands.
Sure do. Another packed house here in Sioux Falls.
It's been an awesome environment. The atmosphere, the arena. This is a very educated basketball town. Dan Casey and Casey Owens have both said, or Dan Craig, I should say.
Rodney Magruder drills a 3.
They love their Skyforce, and they have been out to support them this entire regular season as they saw the record broken for D-League wins 40. quite a year for the Skyforce. Can they finish it off?
Vanderblue gets to the cup. And the record they broke, the 38 wins by LA back in 2012. The last time a finals went to 3 games, the defenders lost to the Austin Toros. Liggins fires from 3 and connects. Make it a 2.
And DeAndre Liggins, that was just very methodical by him, reading the defense, seeing that Justin Harper was sagging off a bit. And Liggins is a guy, much like a handful of these wing players, known for their defense, but they can score.
Blue try to lead Harper to the basket. Hawkins commits the foul.
On average, but 45 minutes last night. It's not going to be easy for this starting 5 for Los Angeles in the back-to-back, but they're ready to empty the tank.
And the trend continues tonight for LA.
That these LA players have said we're used to it. It's how we played in the playoffs. Lost some teammates to injury. But they said, what more do you want? An opportunity to play for a championship? You don't want to come off the floor.
Torrey Murray left a 3 short. Jarnell Stokes battling for the rebounds. Stints overseas, and he thought this year his best option would be to play in the D-League. He joined LA in January and earned the Impact Player of the Year award for the D-League.
We can't ask for much more out of Ryan Gomes, and he said, I didn't want people and want myself to say, whatever happened to Ryan Gomes? Does he have anything left? He said, I wanted to leave the game on my own terms, and certainly not to say that this is the last year that he will be playing, but he put on a show for the D-League and for plenty to see during these playoffs.
Rodney Magruder scores to open up the second half. And so in Gomes, you're losing a big body, a big scorer, and a huge veteran presence that so many of these younger players looked up to.
I mean, he is a guy that has just shown a professionalism. And he said, I like to teach these guys what it means to play in the D-League, to be an NBA player, and what it means to be a professional.
Josh Midget on the pull-up.
And I don't care how many players that this Los Angeles team continues to lose. I promise you we're going to see them fight till the end, because we have seen that throughout the playoffs. Impressive in just their grittiness and the moxie that they bring to the floor.
DJ Shumpert taking the place of Ryan Gomes to start the third quarter. Justin Harper with a weak side block. And the shot clock expires. We mentioned the journey.
Early on in his career in Boston, some of his best years there in Minnesota, ended up getting amnestied from the Clippers. And he said, that's where I started to decide, what do I want to do in my career? How do I want to leave this game?
DeAndre Liggins with the help defense. Defensive Player of the Year in the D-League comes up with a big block and a whistle away from the ball.
Is something to be said about the growth of the D-League, and also just a player maturing and understanding maybe where his career is at, what's left for him. And that's what he said. It was being older, it was being more mature, and it was making a decision during the first round and then in the finals against Austin. And just 2 points here tonight, a big piece missing for the Los Angeles team that relies so heavily on their starters.
The path to the championship for Sioux Falls has just opened up in a big way as Jarnell Stokes scores from the outside. His first bucket of these finals, not in the paint.
And you don't want to overlook Stokes and what he's trying to show in terms of extending his offense and improving his outside shot. It's going to be one of the biggest factors if he can be an NBA player.
Rebounded by Harper. Six on the timer. Midget out to Harper. Weak side rebound, Stokes. On the floor with 3 fouls. Magruder, Liggins, Trollick, Stokes, and Paolo. Shumpert rebounds, playing in the front court with Harper, Ingram, Blue, and Midget, the rest of the 5. Paulo, crossover against Majet.
Paulo shows why he's so quick getting to the...
Even less from capping off the greatest regular season in D-League history with Sioux Falls' first ever D-League championship.
He told us records are made to be broken, championships last forever. He said we are proud of that record, but as soon as the regular season was done, we were done with it. We've had one goal throughout these plays. Limit what the Skyforce has been able to do in side-to-side ball movement. They've done a good job, relatively speaking, after that first quarter of handling the inside with Stokes. But it is the ball movement that's got not just a good shot, but great job for the Sky.
Falls broke that record this season with 40 regular season wins, and now they're trying to take down LA for the title.
And a turnover there, but it's been a core of guys with the Skyforce team that it has created the depth that we see, but also the understanding of the offense, what Dan Craig is trying to run systematically, both defensively and offensively, and they executed so very well.
Collected by Sioux Falls. Jabril Traulick on the move. Liggins out to Traulick. Stokes from the outside.
Once again, it's that outside shot that he emphasized to us he's been working on, he's been improving, wants to show that he has more of just an inside game and that he could knock down that face-up 15-footer. And that's gonna be the biggest aspect that NBA scouts and GMs, coaches are gonna look at. Can he do more to pull defenders out, not only hit that outside shot, but also create more for himself inside because of it?
Makes the kick out to Paulo, and it lipped out. Blue wraparound pass. Holyfield puts it on the deck, missing the layup. Extra pass to Ingram, leans in for two. And the tough shooting evening for LA continues here into the third quarter.
You can't say it enough. You got to wonder how those minutes, the type of minutes these starters have played, not just during these final series, but the entire postseason has begun to wear on them.
Stokes with the mismatch against Blue, just shoots right over the top and connects again.
He's feeling it. 6 points in this third quarter, and all 3 of those field goals have been perimeter face-up shots.
He told us that his game does include those types of maneuvers, but his team needed him to be a post presence.
And he said, I took it to heart, and I wasn't prepared my rookie year. I didn't come into the D-League prepared to really work on my game, and he said that's been the difference for me this year.
Lead is up to 14. Sioux Falls with Stokes in the lineup, 28-5 this season. Comes up with the steal, leads the 3-on-2, and gets held by Harper.
Undersized big man. I mean, his size, obviously, he brings a strength. He throws his body around. He goes after it on the boards. But the knock against him is his size. And it's not just that, because he can play in the league at that size with his strength, but he needs to develop that outside game, and it looks like he's starting to do that.
Pins Vander Blue.
2. But at this point, it's an uphill climb for this LA team, given their numbers.
Traulick, a 3.
Stokes told us yesterday one of his favorite parts is the way they're like brothers. They go after each other in practice. It's an effort to make one another better, but it's that close-knit feel that's made them walk away standing. How to put together the best group of 5 guys in the rotation you need to be most effective throughout games. And Craig has done an impressive job with that.
Stokes against Majet. Takes the smaller defender to the basket.
I mean, given the game we saw out of Stokes last night, I have been blown away with what he's been able to do, not just in putting up points, because he went to work in the post in that first quarter, but now showing off the footwork and the skill and the outside work.
Just 10 points in.
Stokes, he's got to be out to prove something. Prove that he not only is MVP of the D-League, but what's going to happen to him this offseason in the summer and trying to get himself on an NBA roster?
Blue up ahead to Harper, rebounding the Whittington miss. Harper working on Whittington, pivots inside. Fields, and the 3 jump shots he hit in this third quarter, the only 3 field goals of the finals to come outside of the paint. Paolo goes high for the lay-in.
And for a guy like Stokes, you know, creating your niche offensively, but also working on your game defensively, defending the pick and roll. Can he be a guy in the NBA that has the type of movement and foot skill to play inside, play a stretch 4?
Whittington leads the break. Throws one up, no. Redirected to Harper of LA. Foul on the perimeter. Boo brought a smile to his face to think about how far he's come in terms of his individual development.
It's crazy to think what can happen in a year, but he said, good, nice dunk by Shumpert, pass by Majette. But Magruder said, you know, something just clicked in Summer League. Dan Craig, of course, coaching that Miami Heat Summer League. Rodney Magruder there. And he said it was the opportunity, and the opportunity that Craig gave him, the confidence he gave him. And it is a trickle-down effect. We can talk player to player on the Skyforce team. There's so much talent as we see Liggins drain the 3 on the other end.
20-point lead for Sioux Falls. Ingram lost the dribble. Here's Magruder. Kick out Liggins, wants another 3. In and out. Up ahead to Blue. Euro step. Here's the exclusive affiliate, and they've made the playoffs each year. Entry into Stokes. Majette gets underneath. Well, Josh Majette has earned the attention of this Skyforce crowd. Skip to Liggins.
You can't get a better contest than that. On Josh Majette running at Liggins, as Liggins from deep still drains it.
Second differential between game and shot clock. Shumpert sets the screen. Pull up, Vander Blue. Off the iron, no, collected with 3 seconds left. Magruder at the buzzer would not have counted.
A lot of answers for LA. Given the short bench they now have, and you can see.
Our coverage for the 36th year, along with a cast of thousands. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN and Alive. Averaging 30 points in these finals, entering tonight's Game 3. DeAndre Liggins with 7 on the timer. Backing down Majette, creates space, left it short. Majette after the rebound, ripped away by Stokes for the flush. Offensive foul, illegal screen by Holyfield as Majette, 23 points for Jarnell Stokes.
And Stokes had said earlier, he said, of course, my dream was to be wearing a Memphis Grizzlies jersey, a Miami Heat jersey during this season, but he said that's not in anymore. My dream, my goal right now is to win a championship, and he's got his team just over 60.
Sioux Falls 28-5 with him in the lineup, and the Sanford Pentagon crowd cheering MVP.
Well, and the thing is with Stokes, you obviously got a game plan for him. So you got a game plan for how, I mean, we've talked about it throughout this entire game, even game 2, sending second players at him, double teaming, trapping. And the Skyforce team is so loaded with potent scores that Stokes drawing that attention opens things up for his teammates. And it just made this team so difficult to guard, and obviously a major reason why they were able to set that D-League regular season record.
Injury in game 2, second half. LA did not have Ryan Gomes. And that effectively ended their chances to take game 3 on the road. Extra pass to Murray. Stokes the offensive rebound. Whittington opts to take more time off the clock. Trawick against Shumpert. Murray. Whittington with 7 on the timer. Works against Harper. Trawick for 3. Offensive rebound, Boo Paulo. Into the MVP. Kick out Murray. Paulo takes it, defended well by Ingram, but he knocks it off of his own man.